Hello friends of the electrified charging fun and welcome to Electrified Speicher, your channel all around Škoda's e-mobility. My name is Matthias and I warmly welcome you to the third episode of my series How to Škoda EV. This time we are talking about configuration and settings of your infotainment system. This video series is for those who are driving for the first time an electric car or who are switching over from another brand to Škoda or even both. Škoda electric cars are well known for the sheer amount of configuration which is possible. There are so many sub-menus to explore and so many settings to configure, this could be overwhelming to you. To have a head start or have a better experience when switching over to Škoda, I will only focus on the essential parts of the configuration and the settings, not on everything. If I would try to focus on everything, this video would entertain you a whole day. This is not the purpose of this video. And when you've got that head start, you are able to explore all the different things from here on. And now, let's go. One important notice before we start. In this video, you will see the software version 5.4. It could be that you have a different software version, and parallel to my talking, you see how to find out what software version you might have, and therefore you can have a slightly different experience. This video applies to software version 4 and software version 5. If you've got a software version 3, this is a different topic. There are videos here for this on the channel. In the driver's cockpit, you don't have many, but some important configurations which you can do on the right side of your steering wheel here. First off, you can switch through the different visuals, through the different displays. With going to the left, you can focus on the driver's assistance systems here. And with going to the right, you can focus on consumption. And if you want to switch through the consumption stats, well, now you have since start. You can simply press that roll here. Now you have long term, and now you have since charging, and back to since start. Maybe you already noticed that little green arrow on the right side. If you press again on the right button, you can switch between stats and navigation route planning. Now no navigation is active, therefore nothing is displayed. With the software version 5.4, the car switches automatically between navigation when there is something important to notice and consumption. If you got a software version 4 Škoda electric car, it does not do the switch on its own. It will switch to navigation and will remain there unless you will manually switch back to the consumption. This car, however, already has a main user because it's a rental car and I cannot change this. Nevertheless, I want to show you how to register another user to your car. If the dealer already has done this with you, and he should, you can skip this chapter. But if not, let me show you how to add an additional user or the main user to the car. Well, the process is nearly the same, yet I can only show you to add a new user since we have a main user here and I can't and won't delete him. So install the My Škoda app. You'll find it in the App Store. The My Škoda app is essential to do this step. I already have that app installed and it looks like this. Here you see my own car, my ENYAQ. Please excuse that the app is in German, but I'm too lazy to switch my smartphone over to English. Yet the display here is in English. So then hit login. Now you need to wait until you're connected. This is German, by the way, due to the fact that my language settings here are German. So again, please excuse, I cannot switch this immediately. Now you need to scan that code and you do it in the app. I'll need to add a new car, add a car, scan the code. If you do not have an account with Škoda, you need to register your account here. After logging in or registering and logging in, the car will identify itself to your account and you've got a new car. Here you go. Now I've got an ELROQ and my ENYAQ. And the next thing you should do is the configuration. This one here. You will see it when you register in your car or when you add a new user. When you come to the 4th out of 5 steps, this is an important one because your telephone and your vehicle are joining forces right now. Although the car is already in the app, you still need a direct connection of your phone to the car. You can see it down here. This is SmartLink, which shows how the phone is connected via Bluetooth, or if you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And it already says the My Škoda 4286 is now withable and can be found with your mobile phone. So let's do this. Head here for Bluetooth and see if we can find it. There it is, My Škoda 4286. Let's connect it with the car. Yes, that is okay. And now you can decide whether you want Bluetooth hands-free or Apple CarPlay. Of course I want Apple CarPlay, and I allow that. And just a couple of seconds later, my phone is now connected to the car, and now you see the Apple CarPlay icon here instead of the SmartLink icon. Next, and there you go. Your phone is connected, so why worry if you've got the tutorials and the information from Electrified Speicher. Now is the time to talk about that central display here and how to set it to your personal preference. The main display consists out of 3 sections. The upper section here, the big middle section and the lower section. Each is separately configurable. In the middle section you can also scroll from left to right, so swiping will lead to different pages, and on each page you can arrange those tiles. There is some static content on this display, for example the climatization down here, as well as seat heating. The empty space would be seat cooling if the car would be equipped with it. Also some icons are fixed, for example the icon up here for the vehicle is fixed, the home button is fixed, this app icon is fixed, and everything on the right page here, like the clock, sound, profile and connection. Yet you can configure a lot. Maybe you already noticed this little white bar up here, and if you pull that down you get a favorite bar where you can add several favorites. Let's start with configuration here, and let's start with that middle part. If you want to alter any of this, just tap for a longer time and you enter the adjustment screen. Now you can select whatever tile you want to change and put something else there. Also, you might want to change another page. Simply swipe, now you've got the second page and you can alter it again. But maybe you want a third page, between or at the end. Just hit the plus icon and now you can choose out of 3 different layouts, whatever your preference is. Let's go with this one. Hit OK, and now again you can add whatever you want here. Don't forget that you can swipe down here. Whatever you like, just add pages, delete pages and configure all the tiles. Keep in mind, some tiles can't be added more than once, like the map for example. If it is here, it can't be on any other screen. Now let's go to the upper bar where the car icon, the vehicle icon is. So if you tap on it, you get the vehicle settings, everything you can set in the vehicle. And these favorites up here apply to vehicle settings. So if you want to add one and you still have the plus button, just tap on it and you come here. If you do not have this, simply tap a bit longer on one icon and now you can change them. There you go. Now you have that favorite bar. The same applies to the bar down here, where you can set 4 additional favorites, which are in the app menu. Here you find the car's app, like navigation and settings and users and sound and stuff like that. And you can put them down here for quick access. The home button, by the way, will always lead to that page. You already guess how to do it. Tap for a longer time and now exchange. But how? You would say, well, I tap this one and this one, like up here. No, it's a pity it's different. You have to drag and drop it down. Now there is another screen where you can edit something, and this screen will appear when you shut down the car. The leave screen, or the exit screen, let's call them this. That one here. Goodbye. You've got that edit pen up here. You go to edit and you can drag and drop and change positions of every item. And if you don't want an item, just hit the minus here and it gets removed from the menu. You will find them in other options to put them back again. Yet if you want to scroll down, don't scroll here because that is drag and drop. You can't scroll here either. Scroll here where the minus and plus icons are, and then you're good to go. All the configuration is on functionality. But what if you do not like how the design of this screen is? Well, I've got good news for you. You can also alter the appearance here. You can do this in the setup. Well, first off, let's change the background. Go to Settings, App, Settings, Screen, Backgrounds. Here you've got a selection of backgrounds. Let's choose this one and see how it looks. It looks like this. But I would recommend not taking one of those. I would take a dynamic one, which has this color circle. Let's take this, for example. Now we've got this in the background, and it will change its color depending on the settings up here with the background lighting. Every Škoda EV has background lighting, and here you can set it. And now let's set it to, let's say, red. And you see your background turns red. You can also add that as a favorite up here if you need it. You've got two color settings here. One is for the lighting in the doors and on the front, and the other for the middle console. You can see it here, where you can adjust the brightness for every light in the background lighting. And if you do not want to do this, you can change over to the modes already done by Škoda and pick one out of those. Now that you've configured the display to your delight, it's time to step to the settings of your car, because your Škoda EV has so many options to configure, and yet there are still more information screens with detailed data, and we look at some now. And one very important, that's why I have that tile here, is vehicle. You'll find it also up here, but vehicle leads to this menu. Here you've got the status. See here, 640 kilometers is the total mileage of this ELROQ, 240 done by me, I guess. And data, that is what you see in your cockpit display since start, long-term since start. You can tap through, you can swipe through, and you can set since start and long-term to 0 again. You can also reset the driving data directly at the steering wheel. With the right scroll button, with a short push, select the one you want to reset, and with a longer push without any other confirmation, you simply reset it. But more important here is the vehicle menu itself, because here you can configure a lot of stuff of your car. You can swipe through. There are even more options, depending on your configuration, more or less. One important part is here, opening and closing, where you can set what you want. For example, if you do not want locking when walking away or when approaching, there is a lot of things to configure here. As well as in the interior. We now head to another very important thing, and that is climatization. I have put it here. You also find the button down there. This is your air conditioning and heating screen. You can turn the thing off, you can switch to interior air, and you have a lot of options here to configure it to your delight, as well as the smart function down here like fresh air, warm feet and warm hands. One important function is heaters. Heaters here is also available in the settings up here, and when you go to the setup, you can activate or deactivate these 4 heaters to have them on one button, which is very, very handy. Also, if you enter your car and maybe seat heating is directly on level 3, it might be because it's activated here. Down here, you can activate steering wheel heating in every level, as well as seat heating in every level. If this occurs and you don't know why, maybe the settings here will help you. Talking about the infotainment also means talking about this bar down here, because this bar is pretty important with its 3 symbols on off, minus and plus. And you might even already notice that you can adjust volume here, but in my car, as you see, it barely works. This is a function I never use, or on the steering wheel to adjust the volume. But you can also use this slider here on the map, and this is our only excursus to the map in this video, with pinching to zoom in and zoom out. But you can also do it on the map, so why bother with that bar below? But way more important than that is this little on-off switch. First off, if you gently press it for a longer time, you get to the screensaver. This could be a clock or the Škoda logo or all black. And again, if you push for about 3 seconds, you come back to your yes lock-in screen. But this is not the most important function. Way more important is if you press this button longer, you can reset the infotainment without the cockpit display being resetted or the head-up display. So if you have any hassle that nothing is working here, just press this button. Even during driving, you will still have your cockpit display, you will still have your head-up display. Just wait a bit longer, it's about 10 seconds. And then the system goes all black and boots again. You can do this if you run into troubles and get a fresh start of the system, and most problems are solved then. Here you go. You see how fast this is done. And there is another function to this tiny little button when it comes to navigation, and that's again just a small excursus. We do this also in a different video again. Let's drive to a location, and if you then get a message from the navigation system, you can just shortly press this button to cancel it. See here.
Please drive to your route
and she's quiet instantly. So if you want your navigation announcements, but some of them might bother you, just simply tap on that button, which is easy to reach for the driver, and all quiet again. And if you now ask yourself, hey Matthias, where's the My Škoda app? And where is the charge and route planning, the navigation? And what about LoRa, voice control? Well, these are all topics on their own and therefore videos on their own. The goal for me is to keep those videos as short as possible and way below 20 minutes. And if I put that into this video, it would be too long. So in part 6, we will talk about route planning and charge planning. In part 7, we will talk about LoRa, voice control, and the My Škoda app. Well, what about exploring it on your own? And then, at a time in the future, there will be a video about that app as well. As said earlier, you can still do more settings and more configuration right now, but that's up to you. So start exploring. For example, that you can reorganize the symbols in the functions and app menu. Keep in mind, the next part of the series is already charging, charge planning and charge settings. To not miss out that video, you should subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and you don't miss any new content. And at this point, a big shout out and a big thanks to all my supporters and the donations they give me that make this channel possible, that make such quality possible, such videos possible. You are great. And if you want to be part of this club of supporters, well, you will find information in the description on how to support me, and I would be greatly thankful to you as well if you do so. And then we see each other in the next video, and until then, stay full of energy.